2 months ago, there was this.
Are availing ourselves to all of the options that our hard work and circumstances currently afford us. And that means that single motherhood by choice is going to be an option that more and more black women consider and even exercise. So anybody that's in their feelings about that can go ahead and start to process right now. Because black women that have the privilege to embark upon this expensive and oftentimes lengthy process will increasingly decide to forego marriages and partnerships that do not serve us and that are not in our best interests. And now that bypassing those insufficient relationships does not have to come at the expense of motherhood, well, frankly, it's a whole new world. A world in which black women are no longer subject to the desperation of being chose, because now we get to do the choosing.
And now, there's this.
Reality that needs to be said out loud is that as black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding. And the exact opposite is true for black women. As we age, doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades, the reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year. No matter how good we look, no matter how fit we are, men are still seeing primarily our presumed dwindling fertility as a knock against us. And speaking of fertility, that is another reason that I want younger black women to seek marriage and partnership in college or right after, if that's what they choose. Because the number of college-educated black men is so low when compared to black college-educated women that we're all going to be targeting the same small pool of men. And as we heard today, on most campuses, there's like 7 black women students for every 1 black man student. Y'all do the math. So here's my advice. If you are a young black woman in college and you know in your heart and in your head that you want to prioritize family, I suggest that you simultaneously pursue that MRS degree right along with that BA or JD. Because the handful of black college-age men that actually do desire to get married soon, and they do share that value system, and family is a priority.
You just witnessed is a woman hitting that wall and realizing that she made mistakes that she tried to justify and work around simply because she just wouldn't listen to what men were saying. And now her circumstances have forced her to admit that what we've been saying this whole time is the truth. But then it leads to a conversation like this.
This is a conversation for ladies, and I texted my good friend Charlamagne. I said, as a friend to the show, I heard the conversation yesterday. I appreciated the critique and the constructive nature of it. And I said, you know, since I'm down the street on the train, let me pull up, and I want to hear from you, Lauren, about what you agree with and what you disagree with, and have a ladies' conversation about it.
Let's do it. So the disagreeing for me came with the starting with the infertility and the market value, the appreciating. So with the infertility, I know I said this yesterday, some stuff is science, right? You can't get around that. But I feel like when you start with that and you lead with that, it then makes people get defensive and they don't even hear the rest of it. I know when I first listened to it, I was like, oh God, this is going to be another one of those conversations where like someone's telling me as a woman, by the time you get this age, your life is over. And, you know, when you're trying to figure things out and you're like, I'm 31 years old, right? Like, I'm recently out of a very long relationship. You know, as a woman, as a black woman, right? Especially working in the space that I work in, I might not get that other chance. Like, I got to do it right the first time. And I think
you're talking about professionally?
Professionally and personally.
Okay.
But I just feel like when you lead with the stuff that you lead with, it instantly turns the conversation negative. And for someone like me who is watching and learning and listening to you, it makes it where now I am defensive. I don't want to watch, listen, and learn. I don't hear the rest of what you're saying. So now I'm not being taught. And I should feel like I can listen to you and learn from you and not feel like you're the op.
So I want to just go back actually to your first point, Lauren, which I think you are conceding that you had a reaction to my commentary that was so visceral in nature that you actually shut down your listening comprehension skills. You
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
Okay. So because of that though, right? I'm not going to sit in a posture of ownership because you made a choice to be limited in the way in which you received and processed the information. Now, you are a grown woman and you have autonomy over what you choose to consume and what you choose to not consume. So when I was giving the advice, the strategy, the game, putting, certain people up on some game, I'm talking to a very limited pool of young black ladies, the ones that are currently in school or immediately following school or graduate school. So this is actually not even applicable to you, Lauren.
But when you-
No, let me finish.
No,
right?
hold
No,
on.
I have to
Wait,
finish
wait,
because
wait,
you.
wait, no, wait.
Let her finish her thought.
Hold
Let
on.
her
I have to finish my thought.
I just want
because
to wait before you finish your thought.
Okay.
I just want to let's.
Now, ladies, I want y'all to understand something. When y'all start talking about the scientific part of it and all of this stuff, it's very, very simple, if you don't know. Every month, your body releases eggs. That is what your menstrual cycle is for. Alright? What keeps people having babies later is prolonging that process for 9 months at a time. So when you say, okay, I'm going to go and have all of this fun and do all of these things, every month you are releasing the eggs that you carry. Do y'all get that? Do y'all understand that? That being said, by the time you get ready, you get into your mid-30s, late 30s, and now you're ready to have kids. You've done everything you wanted to do as far as your career is concerned, and now you're ready to have babies and have a family, or sometimes just have babies. You've gotten rid of all of your eggs. You're probably a couple of years away from going into menopause because you didn't have the process paused. So all of this shit that y'all telling and y'all been taught and y'all utilize in your arguments and all of these things, ladies and gentlemen, those things contribute to the G word. The fact that when you go into all of these things and all of these mindsets, it keeps us from, as a people, reproducing and continuing our lineage. Everything that they try to teach you as far as feminism and going for yourself and doing all of these things and getting out and having your fun and enjoying life every day of life and it all leads to the same result. And unfortunately, y'all have never been able to see it, even though we've been telling you this. Because what you just watched is you watched this woman in a 2-month period hit the wall. Probably because, as she claimed that she was going into a fertility process, she probably found out that she will never have kids. And now she's come to the realization that she's wasted all of this time. Now, all of a sudden, she goes from trying to convince y'all to have kids on your own, recommending sperm banks, to telling you in 2 months' time to go ahead and get married when you graduate from college. And then have your husband take on the debt that you have incurred from college. It's still stupid. But I digress on that. That's a whole other video. And that's why I say, y'all have to pay attention to who y'all are listening to. Because so many of y'all came on that video, the bus driver video, all of those things, ready to ride for this woman, instead of riding for the truth. Show off.